following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-hosts are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to the Smackin Raw podcast, where we are the best in the world at what we do. I am your host, the Warden Matt Ritter. I am here with my co-hosts, as normal, the real heel Eric Siekr.
Yo.
And Sir Cuss-a-Lot Travis Pointer.
What's happening?
And this is episode 35 of the Smackin Raw podcast. Real quick, Eric, you will be at WrestleMania. Do you have any plans to go to WrestleCon or to Access prior to WrestleMania?
I do not.
You do not. So you're just going to go to the show. You're going to skip all the fun shit.
Absolutely.
One could argue the show is the fun shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought was the fun shit. I don't know about waiting in lines to grovel.
Some people like to meet the actual wrestlers and get autographs and talk to other fans. And
yeah, I don't give a shit about any of that.
At WrestleCon, there's a bunch of indie shows going on as well as WrestleMania, Ring of Honor, stuff like that taking place. Phil, if you're listening, you are a guest host. Please get a hold of me. Let me know if you're not going to be boring like Eric and actually go and take some sights in while you're in New Orleans. Check out WrestleCon or Fan Access and what your plans are.
Oh, I'm going to take in some sights. I'm going to be on Bourbon Street getting loaded.
Well, see, I don't think Phil's going to do anything either because ECW is not having a show. So
that is true. Maybe you and Phil can go get loaded together and catch an indie show.
Giggity.
All right, let's get into we'll start with SmackDown this week because it was far more entertaining than Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. And
so end with the boring one. That makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, or not in my opinion, but as we talked about last week, I fucking called it. Daniel Bryan came out, and like I said last week, he said that he is cleared to medically cleared to wrestle. He also berated both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for their actions of taking out Shane after, in his opinion, they got exactly what they wanted. He fired the two of them, and then they jumped him and beat him down, leading to what will end up being more than likely Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
And what exactly did you call? Because you talk a lot, so most of the time I'm not listening.
That when Daniel Bryan comes back, he will tell us that he is medically cleared to wrestle. That was the reason he was gone from SmackDown and Fastlane. And I also said that the Sami Zayn-Kevin Owens match will probably end up being Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Eric said that it didn't make any sense because Daniel and Shane are on opposite sides, to which you and I had a discussion, Travis, about how it's easy to have Daniel take his side, not being happy with the way they acted, so on and so forth.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure I said that it didn't make sense, but that it would probably happen, regardless of it making sense or not.
Maybe if you
I was just pointing out that it doesn't make sense.
Maybe if you said it was probably going to happen, that was part of the audio issue and I get cut out because I definitely didn't hear that either time.
Matt's practicing a little known technique known as sarcasm, people. I don't remember any of this, but
you were drunk.
That's how I podcast. But
yeah, that's why you never remember shit.
My thing is, I agree it doesn't make any sense because I really think the real match should have been Daniel Bryan versus Shane. But
yep.
This direction they're going, and I can see they're kind of throwing it together, but it's like, whatever. Okay, I'll ride with you. The reason why I'm okay with it is because looking at the way the card is stacking up, it's going to be a pretty decent card, so I'll take this, you know? It's
cool. It's going to be a big fucking show.
Yeah.
And that's the other issue is you've got all of these guys on both shows, main eventers, so on and so forth, and you've got to try and fit them all on the card. You don't want to throw everyone into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which we found out is happening.
Yeah. So they're doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and the Women's Battle Royal.
Damn.
And
it's a lot of Battle Royals.
Like, motherfucker, why? You just did this like 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Women's Battle Royal, every single title is going to be on the line, as well as a tag team match featuring the Commissioner of Raw and a tag team match that will not announced yet, but more than likely be featuring the Commissioner of SmackDown. and general managers of both shows. So we're pretty much getting all of the same shit from SmackDown that we're getting on Raw, including the fact, and I'm glad you brought that up, that the United States title match has been turned into a triple threat to mirror the Intercontinental title match, which is a triple threat. Jinder Mahal came out, cut a promo. Bobby Roode came out, interrupted him. Randy Orton came out, blah, 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 blah. In the end, it is going to be Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal for the United States title at WrestleMania.
Listen. Whatever happened to the good old-fashioned one-on-one match? Do we still do those? Like, does that still happen?
Well, you're still going to get that for the women's title, for the Universal title.
You know what the fuck I mean, Matt. All right. Like, what the fuck? Why does everything have to be a triple threat? Then even last month they did, a 6-pack challenge that was originally a fatal 4-way that turned into a 5-way that became a 6-pack challenge. Like, what the fuck? Let's just have matches. Just have people go one-on-one. Are we afraid to do that now, or do you just have too many,
They have too much talent for the 5 hours of wrestling that they have on TV.
How do you simultaneously have too much talent and not enough talent? I don't understand.
What do you mean not enough talent?
When you have a 3-hour show that you still can't fill with entertaining content, because you still get that lull in there, which is why I started watching the Hulu version.
Oh, they have the talent. They just don't have, just the writing of it.
Yeah, they're not using the talent they have properly, which is why you get the lull, but they have the talent. As a matter of fact...
Okay, let me rephrase that then. How do you not have the properly utilized talent? Okay.
That is the writing and the direction of the content. Honestly,
didn't we already establish last week that I actually work for them? I need you to stop insulting me.
Well, then stop putting out a boring-ass show that you
I remember that part.
Yeah. You're the one that just said you can't even watch your own full show.
So. No. I write on SmackDown, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been saying for a little while now that we should probably go to 3 shows a week and make them all 2 hours instead of having a 3-hour Raw and a 2-hour SmackDown. Have 6 hours of wrestling, 3 days a week, all 2-hour shows to spread the talent out so that you can get some of that talent that's not being properly utilized on a third show. Kind of like ECW. Even make it an hour-long show. But you already have NXT, which is the farming brand. You already have 205 Live. There's a lot of fucking wrestling out there to watch. And they still have too much fucking talent because they're taking all the guys off the indies and bringing them in so no one else makes money.
I'm not feeling that 3 shows a week thing. Let me tell you why. Because if you give somebody else their own brand, that means you got to have a whole nother show. That means you got to have a whole nother set of champions. And I'm just like, look. There's too many belts floating around right now. There's too many titles floating around. Nowadays, it's just like you're doing something wrong if you don't have a title around your waist. Like, what the fuck? Why does everybody have a goddamn belt?
Yeah, there's too many fucking belts. I agree. It dilutes the prestigiousness of it.
As you guys have said before, I have the right to be wrong, and in my opinion, I disagree. I feel like for all of the main event talent and all of the people that they have who aren't being displayed or being used properly, there isn't enough time and there isn't enough titles to give everyone the fair shot that they deserve. And that's why you've got guys like Rusev, like Shinsuke Nakamura, like Bobby Roode, like Randy Orton, muddling around in the mid-card, not really doing too much, occasionally holding a U.S. title or the IC title or whatever for a month or two because you have nowhere to put them, nothing to do with them, and you can't build a meaningful feud because you've got to focus on all this other main event talent that you've got going on. And it's hard to bring someone up when you've already got all these established guys who aren't going anywhere.
Then you
I wouldn't
push
say
them
they're
out.
muddling. Everybody plays their part. They have to reel it back sometimes.
Or you just, those guys that you're mentioning, they're just kind of taking up space right now. You push them on out. Like Randy Orton, you've been here long enough. Sorry, bye.
No way.
Well, you say they're not muddling, but look at that 6-pack challenge. That 6-pack challenge.
That's my point. There's people that they have in there that they're clearly not going to do anything with. They're clearly not going to do anything with Dolph. Why are you holding on to them? You're not going to utilize them properly, so let them go. You want to bring up these other dudes you can get for cheaper? Do it. Do what they do in the NFL. Use it till you're done, and you're not using them anymore. You're just going to fuck them off anyway. So bye. Move on.
All right. Well, move on is a good point. Eric, do you have any last things you want to say? I think Travis cut you off a little bit. No? All right. Then we're going to move on We did mention the 6-pack challenge. You said get rid of Dolph Ziggler. Baron Corbin had a match against Ty Dillinger this week, which Baron Corbin won. Really nothing there other than the fact that they're going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Another thing that they're promoting for WrestleMania. Shinsuke also had a match against Rusev. That was just to promote the main event for WrestleMania, Shinsuke versus AJ, where AJ took his time to come in and kind of save Shinsuke when he was getting jumped by Aiden English and Rusev, and Shinsuke fought them both off and said, I don't need your help, but I helped you last week because you needed me. Trying to make Shinsuke look strong.
Here's my thing. If I'm AJ, I don't jump in there either. I'm not risking my neck for somebody I got to face in a couple of weeks. Fuck that. You all right? They just like that on Raw when Rollins was like, oh, I got to go down there and help him. Why?
Because that's what good guys do, Travis.
No, that's what dumb guys do.
Well, good guys and dumb guys can kind of...
They kind of go together in wrestling. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
We also had Charlotte lose to Natalya with another fake cash-in from Carmella.
Is that when I fell asleep?
You guys think? I know, Travis. You said you don't think she's going to cash until after pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think she's going to cash in on the next show after Mania.
Kate and I were talking about it, and again, I think that it is a good way to keep the title off Asuka, to have Carmella cash in on Charlotte, and Asuka doesn't lose her undefeated streak. Because I looked at this WrestleMania card, and it seems like, and it makes sense for just about every fucking title that is on the line to change hands at WrestleMania, and we know that's not going to happen. And I was trying to weed out what titles possibly couldn't change, but Shinsuke's probably going to beat AJ. Roman's probably going to beat Brock.
Why do you say Shinsuke's probably going to beat AJ?
Because AJ's been holding on to that title for a long time, and Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. He has been on this push now. It's this big match. In my opinion, it makes sense to put the guy who won the Royal Rumble over.
Yeah, but you know how often that really doesn't happen. My thing is, that's one of those matches where in the end, it really doesn't matter who wins. The fans are going to be happy. So it's one of those things you can actually you can justify either way. So it's just, whatever. So this doesn't I'm not saying Shinsuke necessarily won't win it, but it's just, I can see both sides. It doesn't really matter in that match who wins it.
It makes sense to put the title on either Rollins or Finn Balor to keep them relevant and take it off The Miz. It makes sense. The only one that I think makes sense is having Randy Orton continue his title reign because he just won it. But then again, it also makes sense to have Bobby Roode go over Randy Orton to bring him up.
That's another one that it doesn't matter who wins it because I don't care.
Well, yeah, we understand you don't care, but there are people out there that do. Tag team title match on SmackDown. You got the Usos, possibly the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. Usos have had everyone locked down. It's time for a new team to come up and be someone that they haven't had locked down. It looks like that's going to be the Bludgeon Brothers.
You just want the Bludgeon Brothers to have the belt. It's okay.
I really like the Usos, and I really love the promo that they did prior to that singles match between Jimmy and Harper, which Jimmy lost. I'm just saying, the way they're building the Bludgeon Brothers, it makes sense that they drop the titles to the Bludgeon Brothers. Otherwise, they've beat everyone and they've got no competition, and then what do?
You just don't like Samoans.
I love Samoans. I got some Samoas in the cabinet.
Yeah, you like Samoas. You like the Girl Scout cookies, but you don't like Samoans. It's okay.
I like The Rock. I want Nia Jax to be.
You only like half of The Rock.
So I only like the black half.
Yeah, you only like the black half of The Rock.
Okay. It's true. I don't like Roman Reigns, but I did love Rikishi. How do you not love Rikishi?
I mean, everybody loves Rikishi. I think most people forgot that he was Samoan after a while, though. So
until he ran Stone Cold over with the car, and then he was on my shit list.
I applauded him.
It all. You know what? We'll get into that. But anyway, it looks like a lot of the titles.
We'll get into what? How he took Stone Cold out, and then The Rock became the champ, and how The Rock is the greatest that ever was.
No, I was going to talk about the tag team titles on Raw, but we'll get into that when we get to Raw. Also, to promote the Women's Battle Royal, which is no longer did we mention that it's no longer the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal? Because
that happened after our show, I think.
Yeah, Twitter freaked out about how Moolah was pretty much a piece of shit and treated women
I was
horribly.
just about to say, yeah, Moolah was really fucked up.
Yeah, no.
And it's
Moolah
one of those
just-
things like I kind of heard that she was just fucked up, but I never thought to look up and see why. And then I looked and I'm just like, oh, you bitch. Like,
Oh, she did some awful shit.
like, goddamn.
So
Yeah, why'd they pick her? They could have picked anybody.
well, they had the Mae Young Classic, so now it was the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal.
I think
They thought
somebody
made
joked that
sense.
like that was the only person, that's the only other woman whose name Vince knew. But
Well, they could have done Alundra Blaze.
I was just thinking that
could've
they could have done Alundra Blaze. That would have been a good one.
Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter would have been good.
I don't know who
She
that
was
is.
at WrestleMania 1. She came out with Cyndi Lauper.
They
I
should have
was-
been the Cyndi Lauper battle.
I wasn't alive and watching WrestleMania 1, so
But anyway, we had that Naomi and Becky match versus the Riot Squad. The only point of that was the women's battle royal to hype that up. The Riot Squad had a promo afterwards about how they're going to work together as a wolf pack, and yeah, they have that wolf pack mentality. Did you guys have any other thoughts on that promo from the Usos or that match where Harper beat Jimmy?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What'd you say?
Usos promo, Jimmy versus Harper singles match.
No, are you intentionally skipping over Daniel Bryan's brilliant, heartfelt speech?
We talked about Daniel Bryan. That was the first thing I brought up.
You didn't talk about it enough, though. I don't think you gave it enough gravity.
Well, we went over Charlotte and Natalya. We went over the Usos. We went over Jinder. We went over Naomi and Becky. We talked
What's
about Shinsuke.
funny is
So
he's still purposely not talking about Daniel Bryan. It's okay.
what I was about to say before Travis cut me off is we have time. If you guys want to go back to Daniel Bryan, we can go back to Daniel Bryan and you guys can give us your thoughts on that promo that he cut at the beginning of the show.
Oh man, he was hyped up later on in the show too. He was busting out drop kicks left and right.
And the yes kicks.
Oh man, it was great to watch.
We got to see Daniel
2
Bryan do
years.
the yes kicks again.
2 years of pent up energy.
You know, Eric, you brought this up, and I don't have an issue with Daniel Bryan as a person.
No, you
I'm
just
glad
love
that man-
beefcakes.
I
exactly.
I never said that either.
Yes, you
I'm
did.
glad that
Beefcake!
gets to live out his dream and wrestle again.
No, look, man.
I
You
hope it's in the
said
capacity of Kurt Angle. No, because you quoted me on something I never said, and you're going to do the same thing now because I've never said.
Maybe we should
that
get
term.
maybe
Yes,
we
you
should
did.
get
You
Daniel Bryan some weight gain 4,000 and then Matt will like him again.
you
No.
said that wrestling is
no,
all about greased
no,
up beefcake.
no.
Beefcake!
Someone with the physique of Daniel Bryan just doesn't work for you.
No, I said
It's
I
not
don't
what he's
like
into,
Daniel Bryan
Eric.
as a
Listen,
main
look.
eventer. I said I like him as an intercontinental guy. I didn't like him in the main event. That's all I said.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Look. Matt can like what he likes, all right? What
Thank
isn't
you,
it?
Travis.
Daniel Bryan's just not what he's into. We already established he likes the big beefy dudes, you know? He
Look, man.
likes a little Braun Strowman in him, you know? That's what he loves. So
Braun
it's just
Strowman,
Man.
The Undertaker, Baron Corbin, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Man, I know you love the beefcakes, but look, man, you got to admit that Daniel Bryan coming back to in-ring action is a game changer. It's huge.
I
It's
would
the
say
biggest thing that happened in
Huge.
a while.
I wouldn't say it's a game changer
He's
because
the most over guy, like since Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm not going to say it's
I
a
wouldn't
game
go that
changer, and
far,
I'd say
Eric, but
CM Punk was the most over guy since Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's maybe the most over guy since CM Punk.
Here's my thing. The fact that Daniel Bryan accomplished something that only Stone Cold has accomplished. For the rest of all time, the WWE Universe will continue to say one word over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 As Stone Cold did with what? Because they still do it, which I don't
do it
understand,
wrong, though.
but they still do it. But whatever. They will forever say yes, even long after Daniel Bryan's gone and nobody knows why they do it.
Yep.
They'll keep going, yes.
Forever.
Yes.
Again, I just wanna say-
Then, now, and forever.
Again, I just want to say, for the record, I have no issue with Daniel Bryan coming back in wrestling. I am happy that he got cleared and that he gets to do what he loves.
He's
I would
just not
never
beefy
take that
enough.
away from him. I'd prefer that he does what Kurt Angle does, and he stays GM and wrestles on occasion and doesn't come back and put himself in the main event picture. Too many guys in the main event already. We don't need another guy.
When you say shit like that, you basically like you say like, "Oh, I like him just fine. I just think he should go after the IC title." But what I really think is that he should be a GM and just wrestle occasionally.
I just said I don't want him going for the championship.
You have a problem with him. You don't want him going for any championships. You want him only having one match a year or something because you only want to see beefcakes on TV.
Except I said I want him to go for the IC title. Where did this beefcake thing come from? What is your obsession with this word and your use? Because I've never used it before. This is something you've manifested in your brain, created, and then tried to put words in my mouth that I've never said.
That's not all he put in your mouth.
He's never put anything in my mouth. He tries. He tries. Point is, I'm happy that he gets to wrestle again. I just don't want to see him back in the main event picture. Again, we have too many guys there.
You're a monster.
Too many guys fighting for that championship.
You're a monster, Matt. Just be happy for him.
I am happy he gets to wrestle.
You're not.
I am. We need to move on.
You're not happy enough is what Eric is saying, all right?
Well, again, as
you need to be happier.
We all get to like who we like. You guys talk trash about Baron Corbin and think he's garbage. I like Baron Corbin.
Dude, no, look, Matt.
No.
I noticed this today.
No.
Matt, listen. Corey pointed this out to me today.
Look, Daniel Bryan. I don't care what Corey
listen up real quick.
He's not on the podcast. We're not talking about
Listen up real quick. We are talking about this because there was a zoom in on Baron Corbin's tattoo right under his ear, and it fucking says hobo. For real. He has a tattoo that says hobo. He's a bum. It says hobo on his fucking neck under his ear.
And Daniel Bryan is the champion of all you millennials and all you fucking...
You're a millennial, Matt. You are a millennial. What are you talking about?
First off,
old man Ritter over here.
First off, if you look up...
You damn millennials.
If you look up the generation that includes millennials, it is very gray as to where it starts and where it doesn't.
Oh, okay. I know. You wouldn't want to belong to the wrong generation.
How about this? You hipsters, because we have established that you are a fucking hipster. He is the champion of you hipsters. You guys have your fucking champion. Good for you. Cheer for Daniel Bryan. You like Daniel Bryan. Good. I like Baron Corbin. You can like who you like. I can like who I like. You can't make me like Daniel Bryan any more than I do, and I can't make you like Baron Corbin. I don't care. You're done. We're moving on to Monday Night Raw. I don't care what you have to say. I don't give a shit what you have to say about his tattoo. We are moving on to Monday Night Raw. You need to stop.
What about the hobo tattoo?
Kurt Angle tells us that Brock is going to be late, so Roman Reigns, who is suspended, shows up. Roman gets arrested by U.S. Marshals. You know, I wish at this point I was still a child and I could believe that these were
actual marshals. Yeah.
Like
they didn't know how to put the damn handcuffs on. He's entirely too big
from his phone.
He's entirely too big to get his hands handcuffed in front of him. Like, I'm not even a law enforcement officer, but I know when you're that big, you handcuff them with their hands behind them. Like, you don't handcuff them with their hands in front.
Yeah, I don't know why they opted for the marshals this time rather than
the police,
local police enforcement.
Well, because they didn't have police uniforms on hand. All they had was those vests. So they were like, we'll just say they're marshals. Let's paint U.S. Marshal on the back of these vests. Go out there.
It's to make Roman Reigns look like more of a badass. Stone Cold would fight the local PD. So what do you have Roman Reigns do? He takes out 3 U.S. Marshals. And if you could suspend disbelief and believe that those weren't developmental talent or indie wrestlers, local indie wrestlers, and that they were U.S. Marshals, it would be badass that this guy, this trained wrestler, took out 3 U.S. Marshals. But
but then the problem is that goes to misdemeanor to federal crime. So it's just like, first he was just trespassing. That's a misdemeanor. You're out. You're out in a couple hours. Post some bail. You're good. But then you attack U.S. Marshals when you're under arrest. You're resisting arrest by U.S. Marshals. You are now what I like to call federally fucked.
The worst thing to me about that segment was that normally when someone has been suspended and they're not allowed to come into the building, they usually come in some explosive way, you know? Like Stone Cold did, he'd drive a fucking Zamboni in or whatever the fuck, you know? In this case, like, Roman Reigns just kind of walked in.
Speaking of which,
Speaking
speaking of Stone Cold, these authority figures these days are just some real pussies. Let me tell you why. Because after all the things that Stone Cold did to Vince, you know how much he had to do before Vince like tried to fire him or even suspended him. These dudes, they hit somebody one time, they're suspended. They say something offhand, they're suspended. You beat up one guy, you're fired. Like, grow a pair.
That's an interesting point, because the entire time Daniel Bryan was berating Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens about attacking the commissioner and attacking an authority figure. I'm like, Stone Cold made an entire career out of doing that. Why are you saying this is a bad thing? If I were those guys, I'd be like, hey, Stone Cold did it. He was the biggest thing in the fucking Attitude Era. So why can't we do it? What does it matter? But back to Brock, Roman, and the U.S. Marshals. This whole thing was a culmination of ideas that we've seen in the past that didn't turn out anywhere near as cool as they did. As Eric said, Stone Cold would be suspended and come out in some kind of explosive way, or he'd get handcuffed and be hauled off. You'd have 6 police escort, not a 3-man U.S. Marshal team. And then Brock Lesnar comes out and beats him down while he's handcuffed. And then as he's put on the stretcher, flips it. And it was a lot like when Braun Strowman beat the living shit out of Roman Reigns and they stretchered him. Just not as cool. This was all stuff we've seen before, just not as cool.
Yeah. And, it
was super lame.
That's kind of the theme of WWE these days. Like, all stuff I've seen before, just not as cool.
That's a good title for this episode.
What?
All the stuff I've seen before, just not as cool.
Just not as cool? Yeah.
Yeah.
As I'm watching this, too, I had this thought as I was watching, not just this part, but like just Raw and SmackDown in general. You know what I miss?
What?
I miss Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, yeah.
Poor
Bobby. Fucking great.
Like, he was one of those people that, like, he always just had some kind of quip or some kind of line that just, like, is borderline fucked up or racist or sexist or whatever. But somehow funny because he's just this stupid, goofy old man that nobody likes anyway. Like...
Dude, he's a fucking king of one-liners.
He was like wrestling's version of Archie Bunker. His
Hall of Fame speech is still one of the best. It was great.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Hall of Fame, because they announced that Edge and Christian will be inducting the Dudley Boys. And Eric, you posted that. Thank you for that. And it was also announced this week, Mark Henry is going into the Hall of Fame.
Sexual chocolate.
Somebody mentioned that it would be hilarious if he came out and gave his Hall of Fame speech and then did what he did on Raw when he retired and just said, just fucking kidding, I want the title. And then goes on to face
He probably will do
I
that.
think that he should come out to give his Hall of Fame speech with his hand child on the podium with him.
Yeah, that would be good too. Because that is one of the things he's best known for. Sexual chocolate, the Hall of Pain, and that hand child.
Yeah.
That Mae Young birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? They should have named the women's battle royal after that hand.
I don't think that hand ever got a name.
The Mae Young hand battle royal.
The Mae Young's hand child battle royal.
There you go.
Another couple competitors who we believe are going to be in this battle royal but have not been officially announced because we don't really know who's going to be in it. We're Absolution, and they had a match where they beat Sasha and Bailey on Monday. Sasha and Bailey, we still think, are probably going to get a singles match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I still see that happening. They're still kind of going back and forth and shit. I don't see why they're doing that if they don't have the match.
Unless they go into the battle royal and they screw it over and they just kind of prolong this out because
I'm thinking so.
The
They're
time.
already booked up.
Yeah, I was going to say the time. We might just not have time for that match.
And there's only like
You know
2
why?
weeks left.
Because we don't have time for 2 fucking battle royals. That's why.
But how do you get all those people on the show?
You don't. That's how. You don't.
Yeah, that's
You
too
didn't
many
make the
battle
show. Go
royals.
sit your ass down somewhere, man.
I'm wondering if
Tiffany
we
Battle
will
Royals.
if we'll see Nikki and or Brie in this battle royal because Nikki came out for the house show at Madison Square Garden, so maybe she's coming back as a full time return. Maybe she's just doing house shows and getting back into ring shape. I don't know what she's doing, but it looks like she's still around. So
Yeah, I
maybe we'll see
mean,
the Bella Twins at WrestleMania.
well, they got to fill the battle royal, so that would make sense. But I mean, she did the Rumble, so that would.
The important match in the women's division that we got this week was Alexa versus Asuka, and Alexa Bliss hurt herself and went to go get counted out. Nia Jax came down and attacked Alexa, knocking Mickey out of the way, chased Alexa around, tried to rip Alexa's head off. After another great, I got to say, Alexa's amazing on the mic. And it's not just her promos in the mixed match challenge, it's her facial expressions. She is one of the best actresses on Monday Night Raw, actors or actresses on Monday Night Raw, period.
I can give
definitely.
you that. I'll give you that.
Every week she does that same thing. She like starts to apologize for something kind of, or like talk about doing the right thing, and then she's like,
And flips it around,
nah,
yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna do that. Like I've meant every fucking word I said.
And her face makes you think she means it, and then you just, along with her words and along with her tone, her face changes from sweet, innocent, cute little girl to absolute total bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's amazing at that.
You know why? Because you look at him like, yeah, you got plenty of practice in high school. So, yeah.
Yeah, she, I don't know. She's got one of those faces. It communicates a lot.
Well, the reason why you believed it this week is because you thought maybe she was trying to cover her ass,
Yeah.
Right.
So not necessarily that she meant it, but that she was doing it to cover her ass. But then
I didn't think she was gonna come out and be like, "Yeah, I meant that shit."
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, I figured.
Did she say something about getting it off her chest and feeling like she dropped a 300-pound weight? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
I can throw Nia Jax's weight out
Like,
there.
oh my
that's
god,
fucked up.
that's so rude.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Nia Jax not Nia Jax. Alexa went to Kurt and complained, and Kurt did officially make the match we knew that was going to happen, Alexa versus Nia for the title at WrestleMania, which Alexa clearly was not happy about. And that was the whole point of all this. I'm not sure why Asuka's still showing up on Raw if she's challenging the SmackDown champion. My assumption is if she wins that match and becomes SmackDown champion, that she will be part of SmackDown. She's no longer part of Raw. I feel like as soon as she decided to challenge the SmackDown champion, she should exclusively be on SmackDown.
No, well, she's still. That's the thing. Until then, she's still a Raw superstar. Until she wins that SmackDown title, she's a Raw superstar. And the thing is, also, they didn't want to. They kind of mentioned it on Raw, like even though she's challenging Charlotte, we're still gonna give you that Alexa Bliss and Asuka match because we acted like we were gonna give it to you, so we're not gonna just deny it. You can have that. There you go.
I was glad we got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Since we're talking about title matches at WrestleMania, we have, as we said, an Intercontinental title match that is going to be Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz. The Miz came out and cut a promo, as The Miz does. He was The Miz in his promo. At this point, it's just when he comes out and talks, it's great. But it was leading into a 6-man tag match against the Club with Seth Rollins on commentary. I always enjoy Seth Rollins on commentary. He's always fairly entertaining. The Club won. The Miz Taraj attacked Finn Balor, and then, as Travis said earlier, Seth Rollins, being the dumb good guy, had to come and make the save.
That's the thing.
And we got a blackout. I'm not saying curb stomp. Blackout. We got a blackout.
And that's the thing. Like, he wasn't always that dumb. Like, he was a smart guy before. Teamed up with the right people that took him right to the top. How the mighty have fallen.
Eric, you got anything?
I think he's dumb too. It's a dumb thing to do.
All right.
There's so many things. Like, even we even talked about this during the right before the Elimination Chamber when they had that gauntlet match and shit. Right before the fucking chamber. And Seth went through all that shit. Like, dude, I swear to God, if I had the chamber match that Sunday and they put me in that gauntlet match, I would roll out of the ring, get counted out, and walk back to the back, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. Like, but anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Especially because Finn is more of a threat in this match than I think The Miz would be. Like, take out the guy that's really a threat and then handle The Miz at the pay-per-view. It's fucking Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
That's assuming the Miztourage isn't out there. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Monday Night Raw was really just a bunch of fucking promos. You had the Kurt promo and the Roman promo. You had the Alexa promo. You had the Miz promo. And then we also had a John Cena promo where he called out The Undertaker again.
And got Kane.
The Undertaker again. And we got Kane, who chokeslammed John Cena. And this leads to a match next week between John Cena and Kane. Maybe Undertaker shows up next week.
I think what's going to happen is that it's still going to be up in the air until Mania, and then John Cena's going to come out at Mania and call him out one more time.
That
and
actually would
bong.
What I want, like I'm
That would
thinking, like
cool.
he does what he says he's gonna do, where he's gonna buy a ticket and sit at ringside for like the entire thing, and then eventually, like the match actually happens at that point. But
either of those would be really cool.
I'm bothered by the fact that they call Kane the Big Red Monster. That's not his name.
He's the Big Red Machine.
He's the Big Red Machine, and it bothers me when they say Big Red Monster.
Well, that's just
Yeah, the Big Red Monster sounds like something else.
And we're back to our obligatory genitalia.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. It does sound like something else. But yeah,
I don't know where I want to go from here because the
Home.
next two things that I want to talk about are both, in my opinion, slightly disappointing. I think one Eric's going to enjoy. I think the other we're all kind of disappointed by. So let's get that out of the way. They announced Braun Strowman has to have a partner.
he's not gonna have a partner, Matt.
He said he had a partner. He said it in his promo. I have a partner.
Yeah, these hands.
I really hope they don't make him, but Kurt says he's going to have a partner if he wants his tag team title match. I've heard a lot of rumors, or not rumors. I've heard a lot of people saying they think it's going to be Elias. I pray to God it's not Elias.
Oh man, he's gonna do that shit by himself. Him and these hands.
I could see Elias and Strowman teaming up.
I will say it did look like he had his hands full when he beat Cesaro, dealing with both Cesaro and Sheamus at the same time, but he still came out on top. I still think he could win those tag team titles by himself. I still think it's a great idea, and that's what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know they never listen to me, and they like to disappoint me because Travis is writing the show, and he likes to watch me. So
I do like to watch you suffer. You're right, but
Travis, talk to the Raw writers, please. Make
as I say, I don't control Raw. I have no power over what they do on Raw. I'm sorry.
Call your friends. Call your friends.
Look,
please.
Look. Paul is in charge of Raw. All right.
Paul?
Yes, Paul.
Okay, call Paul.
No, I'm not calling Paul. I will not call Paul.
Because you said yourself that this is the thing that would make you the happiest.
It would. It would make me so happy.
Paul,
it would.
It's you.
It would make me.
Paul.
It would make me so happy. But Paul doesn't listen to me.
Okay. You guys have any thoughts on that match? Eric, do you think he's going to have a tag team partner? He's not going to have a tag team partner.
He's definitely going to have a tag team partner. I think him and Elias would make a good team.
Oh, that would be horrible.
One of these days, I'm telling you, he's not going to have a partner. One of these days, you're going to learn to listen to me.
I'm listening to you, Travis, because remember how at Fastlane I said that I didn't listen to you because all the stuff you said was going to happen. I just really didn't want to fucking happen. This, I really want to happen. So I am listening to you and I am praying that you are right. This I fucking want. So much.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about tag teams, it probably wasn't on the Hulu version because, as you guys have mentioned many times before, the Revival is not good enough to make the cut, and apparently neither is Titus Worldwide, but they had a match.
No, they did not.
Revival beat Titus Worldwide, and then they announced that they'd be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is how we found out there will be an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yo, you know what else didn't make the Hulu version?
What?
That I knew didn't make it because I knew it was happening?
What?
What was the main event of Monday Night Raw, Matt?
Ultimate Deletion, which I was going to get to next.
Yeah, that was not in the Hulu version.
There's a reason for that. I did not fucking like it.
I mean, I watched it. I found it and watched it anyway.
No. I'm just saying. I think the reason it wasn't on the Hulu version is because you guys said they cut all the garbage, and in my opinion, it was garbage. So I could see why it wasn't on the Hulu version.
I mean, when I
Not
watched
because
it, I was
I
just
didn't like
like,
it.
this is what we waited for, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so
Yeah, it was. You can find it on
Listen,
YouTube. It's easy to get to.
a
It's
lot of people that saw the final deletion said they liked it, or a lot of people that liked final deletion said they liked it. They thought it was good. I just that Matt Hardy character is not for me. I didn't like what they did with Bray Wyatt. I didn't like the ending.
we
It's
got a Jeff sighting though.
Yeah, we did get a Jeff sighting, but it's way too over the top for me. Like I still like my wrestling to be a little bit where I'm like, okay, maybe that really happened. This is just way too over the top for me. It's too bizarre. It's not what I like, but there are people out there that like it, and there is a place for it. So I'm not going to say they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying I wasn't.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. They don't ever need to do that ever again. But it
Matt
was
Hardy won.
yeah, it was that we didn't even mention the fact that he won. But yeah, there was that one thing like, okay, all right, we're done here now, right? We're not doing that no more. You good? All right.
yeah, I gotta see it.
It was weird. I don't. There wasn't even as much spectacle as there was in Final Deletion.
Yeah, we did. They did that thing with
Oh,
the drone with the little holographic face on it and shit. And like, welcome to the and that shit. And I don't know,
Yeah, I
man.
kind of assumed that
There was some
they're
fireworks, and
trying
I'm just like,
they're
why are
trying
there
to-
fireworks? Why what is this? Okay, I'll ride with you. I'm confused, but okay. Like,
I feel like this was bound to fail because it just seemed like they were trying to like remake the final deletion, but just with slightly better production values and like you can only do a thing one time, you know. It's like
something
if
like
someone
that.
makes
Yeah.
a really good sketch or something like that, and they come back and try to do it 5 years later. Like I don't know, like.
I will say it was slightly better than the Wyatt versus New Day at the Wyatt compound match, only because Matt Hardy was a part of this, and this is his thing. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Well,
But
here's
other
the
than
problem
that-
with that is it's just like, the New Day needs to be allowed to be the New Day. And in a match like that, they weren't really allowed to be the New Day. So I can see.
Though if they had done it now and they just brought pancakes and slapped people with pancakes, like threw pancakes at the Wyatts,
Yeah.
that would have been entertaining as shit.
Exactly. But
I thought the New Day did a really good job in that feud, though, especially.
oh yeah. It was just in that particular match they just weren't really allowed to be themselves. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, they got serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool to see that side of them.
All right, guys, I don't want to run long. We're getting near where we got to be. I got two more things I want to talk about. I posted it on the Facebook page. They told us Ronda Rousey was going to be at every Monday Night Raw. We said last week she wasn't there. Travis pointed out she wasn't promo. Apparently, she is at every Monday Night Raw. We just don't get to see her on TV. She came out and did a thing with Dana Brooke after the show went off air. So she's there. She's just not going to be on TV for us to see. So they didn't lie to us.
Yeah, she did a weird looking suplex thingy.
That actually, the suplex was fine. It was that judo chop to stop Dana Brooke's hand that bothered me. That looked fucking weird.
Yeah. When I said weird suplex thing, I meant like the whole sequence that led into that suplex because it was, yeah.
But that's it. That suplex looked good. That capture suplex she threw, that was decent.
Yeah, it was okay.
Eric, you got anything about that? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. It's very touching.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's on his phone. He's not paying attention.
Oh, man.
That's
Ronda
why-
Rousey, her whole thing, she's crying, and Kurt Angle was putting his hand on her shoulder.
No.
No,
that-
that's
that-
not what
that-
that's not what we're talking about at all, man.
Did
Yeah,
you,
it
either
is.
of you guys
No,
watch
it's really not.
Did either of you guys watch that clip that I posted from TNA of that guy Sammy Callahan bashing Eddie Edwards in the face with a baseball bat?
No, I didn't watch that. I didn't even see it. What
All
happened?
right, so essentially what happened is on Impact, there's a wrestler, Eddie Edwards, who's kind of like a main event star, and then there's Sammy Callahan, who used to wrestle in NXT as Solomon Crow. And there was a botch, pretty much. He put a chair on the guy's chest. He swung the baseball bat at the chair. It slipped off the edge of the chair, cracked the guy in the eye. The guy almost lost his eye.
Almost.
He hit him hard. He didn't lose his eye, but he almost lost
So
his
he
eye.
didn't get the Scotty Riggs then.
No, he didn't get the Scotty Riggs. But I guess a lot of fans and a lot of people in the wrestling industry are coming out and saying Solomon's not safe. He's untrained. He shouldn't be allowed to wrestle. He needs to apologize. And he felt bad at first. I listened to him on Jericho's podcast, but now it's like botches happen. Like, who came out and told Owen Hart when he broke Stone Cold's neck, you need to come out and apologize to Stone Cold, or that Owen Hart's not safe and shouldn't be allowed to wrestle? Who said when Taz broke Sabu's neck, Taz shouldn't be allowed to wrestle? Like, it's wrestling.
They didn't have Twitter back then.
Exactly. But it's wrestling. It's predetermined. But at the same time, some of the shit is real. There's stunts, and stunts go wrong. He didn't do it on purpose.
Wait. What do you mean it's predetermined?
I mean that they know who's going to win the match before the match starts.
You bullshitting.
No, I'm dead serious. I also mentioned real quick mixed match challenge. We had Asuka and The Miz versus Braun and Alexa. Asuka made Alexa tap out. They're really pushing this. If The Miz gets pinned in a tag team match, it breaks Asuka's streak. Even the announcers were talking about it. I think that's fucking stupid. And that makes me think that The Miz and Asuka are going to win the whole fucking thing now, because they're not going to break her streak, and the show should end before WrestleMania.
Yeah, they probably are.
Why would The Miz getting pinned ruin her streak?
Because they're stupid. So wait, they beat who?
Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman.
How?
Braun Strowman put The Miz through a barricade and incapacitated himself in the process, and Asuka made Alexa tap out in the middle of the ring. But there was a spot where Asuka knocked Alexa Bliss off the apron. Alexa jumped and wrapped her legs around Braun Strowman, and they just looked at each other, and she got that "I want to fuck you" look on her face that she does so well. And then she also grabbed Braun by the beard and pulled him in for what looked to be like they were going to kiss, until The Miz hit Braun Strowman from behind. And then they had a backstage segment after the match where Braun said he finally wants to kiss Alexa, and they went in for a kiss, and then a fan came up with a shirt and got in between them and asked for an autograph, and Braun got pissed off and left.
Fucking cock blocker.
So they're really up in this whole Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman sexual tension relationship thing. For some reason, I don't know if it's just for the mixed match challenge or if it's going to go anywhere. Maybe that's the next person that she manipulates to do her bidding.
Nah, it's just a mixed match challenge thing, because they would have at least like kind of mentioned it on Raw at some point,
Yeah.
All right, we gotta wrap up here, guys. So who's winning on Monday Night Raw?
Winning on Raw, Brock Lesnar, man.
Okay, Eric.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
He whooped Reigns. It was so great.
Yeah, I'll go with that. No, yeah, I have to. You guys are right. So, who's losing on Monday Night Raw?
Reigns.
I was gonna say Reigns until I saw the Ultimate Deletion. I'm like, oh, Bray Wyatt is losing, because he just got he just got shit on. Like, it's just like, yeah, this is over with, and you just.
No, I agree with that.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, fuck
then
you,
he got
Bray.
thrown into the lake of reincarnation, and he wasn't there. And now Travis's dream of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt being a tag team is probably going to come true, which really, really, really fucking soured me to that whole thing. If Bray is reincarnated and born as like woken Bray Wyatt or whatever the fuck they do, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, but yeah, I agree with Travis on that. Eric, thoughts? Losing?
Reigns.
I could see that too. Seeing Roman Reigns get the shit beat out of him didn't disappoint me as much as watching Bray lose to Matt Hardy and everything else. So I'm going to take Travis' side on this because that really broke my heart. SmackDown, who's winning?
Daniel Bryan Danielson is winning on SmackDown.
Yep.
Even though he got his ass beat?
That's why he's also losing.
That would suck. Yeah, that would suck. If what if because they beat him up, now he has to retire again?
Yeah, what if that pop-up powerbomb actually re-injured his neck? That pop-up powerbomb on the apron.
That would be
now
really fucked up. That would be really, really fucked up.
We really shouldn't have put that out there in the universe. Eric, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sure,
That's the thing. He's winning and he's also losing.
So that's who Travis got for winning and losing. Eric, do you have a different choice for losing?
I mean, I was going to say something else, but that's a really good idea.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Daniel Bryan is winning because he returns to in-ring action, and he's losing because he got the shit kicked out of him. Even though he had more offense in this than Shane McMahon had. So good for him on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Travis, what do you got to plug this week?
Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow is live right now. Newest episode just went up. Let's see. Creation Conversation every month.
Facebook pages for all those things.
Yeah, Facebook for Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow is facebook.com/group/Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Facebook page is facebook.com/Creation Magazine. Let's see. What else is happening? If you're fans of Westworld, we'll be doing a live show after that show every week once it starts back up. Yeah, that's about it for now.
As you guys know, as we talk about every week, you can find us at facebook.com/group/Smackin Raw, where you will find all the news that we post and talk about, all the subjects, and where we discuss the pay-per-views as they happen. Also, please tune in after WrestleMania for Travis and I for our first ever live podcast.
And a possible special guest.
And a possible special guest. Why is it possible? I thought we were having John on.
Listen, sir, I'm going to need you to learn the art of the tease, all right?
You told them last week that John was going to be
That's
on.
not the point, all right?
Okay. Yeah, possible special guest. Definitely not Eric, though. He's going to call us and we're going to mute our phones. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. That is at MATTRIDDER. Eric, Facebook, Smackin' It Raw, Cam Shows, Corner, Selling Yourself.
Yeah, just the Smackin' It Raw Facebook page. You got it.
Yep, you can find him there. Travis, how much time do I have?
You have a few minutes. Why? What's up?
All right. Well, because I really wanted to talk about this really cool thing that they're doing. And I know it's one of your favorite shows. They're going to have a crossover between Scooby-Doo and Supernatural.
We're going to end this right now. We're done. Good night, y'all. We out.
We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are that damn good.